Hello and welcome back to NAMM 2020. Here with Larry Cox. Hey Larry, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I am just awesome. It's nice to, I don't know if we actually officially met. I know I've seen you at the NAMM shows before.
Sure, and then maybe in passing.
Yeah.
Maybe I saw you at Yamaha.
Yeah.
When we were doing the evaluation for the.
It might have been, or but
Something
either
like
way,
that.
I'm
Yeah,
glad.
sure.
I'm really glad to have you. So Larry has. I mean, your career and what you've done with music is like amazing. All the artists with
Thank you so
Pharrell, Mary J,
everybody, man.
Robin Thicke,
Brian McKnight.
All these things.
Yeah.
So you've been in the industry for a while playing.
Absolutely. I am out the late '90s.
Yeah.
Straight out of high school, and then getting to see music change.
Yeah.
And play with different artists. Just a year and a half ago, I was touring with Wiz Khalifa.
Oh man. Yeah.
So just different folks and different types
Well,
of artists.
and different
energies, different music, different genres,
man.
and I think the important thing about trying to be a professional musician or a working musician is you got to, kind of indulge yourself in all the different types of musics and genres, and so that you can understand, because how can I be a musician and not like music as music?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they want to put us all in a category and say this genre, that genre. It's the most funniest thing because, like for example, the king of pop is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But Michael Jackson wasn't a pop singer. He was an R&B soul singer.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? This pop is short for popular music.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of one of those things where music is music, and when you start trying to genreize things,
demographic, all of those things.
It kind of does. You have people that are much more eclectic that do all sorts of things, and you hear little flavors of all sorts. I remember the first time I heard the trance music with the banjo. It's like
wow,
and it actually sort of works, but it's like
Well, I guess it all works. By definition, it's organized noise. Right?
Although that's weird.
Right. I might have to get my hand around that one. It's hard to grip. But
it is a little. But
did they have a fiddle?
No, but I've heard that before too.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
That's where it's like, what's going on here? So, your musical background, where are you originally from?
I'm from Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, LBC.
Raised, went to school there, went to Long Beach State on scholarship. Got into some teaching the first part of my career.
Oh, yeah.
Did some teaching in high school and music classes, blah, 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 blah. But it was more fulfilling for me to kind of go after some more of my dreams.
Right.
Not that teaching isn't a wonderful, great thing.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
But I'm not getting any younger any day, so I had some other goals I wanted to try to accomplish. And
right.
I wanted to see the world, and you really can't do that from the office seat of a classroom. So, I changed my career up a little bit then. I mean, it's all been music. The only difference is that I've always had schooling and reading and tried to implement that into the music hustle, because these days, when you're dealing with commercial music, you seldom do you play on a gig. They don't really use sheet music.
Right.
So I've kind of gotten accustomed to playing without sheet music. It's actually easier.
Very important.
My ear works a lot better. And I remember that a couple gigs that I've done, they were using sheet. You don't need sheet music? I said, no, it's okay.
Yeah, it's good to not. I'm very much against. I mean, not against it. If I don't know it, I'd like to have it. But
reference.
But the very first thing on my list is always memorize it, so you don't have to look at it. Because how are you going to be in what I always call the space between the thoughts? That's one thing I talk about on this keyboard, because everything's all one-to-one. That it keeps you in that space where you really can play your best.
You can be creative, man. The feel is great. I couldn't say enough about this keyboard. I mean, it looks similar to the way it did when I was testing it.
Yeah.
Without this shell. But if you can imagine, it's all the dials and the knobs and the pots and the pans and everything and all these things here. So I was able to kind of envision what it would look like. I thought the shell would be different. But
because you had the really early.
The early version. It looked like an Atari 2600 or something.
Yeah, definitely. But it's cool. Yeah, you were part of the what I call the army of badness that we hired. You and Stan and Larry Gold and all these guys kind of looked at this before we released it.
Shout out to Stanton. That's my guy, man. I know he played earlier today.
Yes, he did.
We talked. I didn't get a chance to see him, but we talked before he came, and I hope that I could run into him. But we seldom run into each other, but that's a very good longtime friend of mine. Amazing musician.
Amazing musician. And just out of here. Both you guys are just such great people, man.
Thank you,
and that to me is
bless you.
So you play montage on the gigs, right?
That, and actually, I mean, dare I say it, motif was what I was endorsing before.
Right.
So
sure.
I got a ton of motifs, so I just implemented the montage into an already working thing that I have there.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of taking out the motifs I still like the XS and the XF are still amazing, you know, and there's good keyboards. But,
absolutely.
But that montage is something else.
Well, it can add, and it probably because of the super knob and the ability to do some of the things that kind of took it from where Motif left to where it adds another layer of
another dimension, and it gives you options. I mean, I would have presets on and you have the favorites, but you know, with the touch screen and being able to just have them right in front of you. You know, as a user bank. It's just amazing. It just made it very, very, very simple. Because back in the day, you had to be technically as sound as a keyboard player. Now you can be kind of sloppy and just kind of press through the pages and the buttons and find the sounds. And you know, you don't have to be as on. I remember when I started doing Brian McKnight, man, we had all type of stuff, all type of wires and MIDI plugs. Had to have a controller that changes all of them and all this thing. I mean, it's the same concept, but it's, you know, as we go on, it gets simpler and simpler, and then you know.
Yeah, you know, I was amazed. You said you talk about complicated setups. One thing we had the Camelot guys here. Have you checked out Camelot Pro?
I haven't really checked.
The thing that's cool about it is that it's like you can change, you know, in a software thing.
Right.
It handles everything. I mean, so if you want to play this from that and this, so
kind of like MainStage.
Yeah. It kind of takes a little bit different because you can add in your own like music notes, that kind of stuff.
Oh wow!
And it works on different like PC and Mac and iOS too.
It's cross-platform.
So it's cross-platform, which is nice.
That's dangerous, you know.
Well, it's cool. It's simple though. But the point is that as you said, things have kind of simplified from when you had to have MIDI patch bays and lots and lots of cables.
All that
and
stuff.
I mean, it's kind of. But speaking of making it, you know, dumbing things down or whatever, maybe simplifying the user interface, I like better. That's the whole goal of this guy, is that everything kind of is right in front of you. So, and you were evaluating. So you play organ too.
Yes.
Well. Well, we actually, I already pulled that one up. We had that ready for you. But we also have the keys section in here.
Sure.
That I just love, you know, so what would you like? Could you play a little bit for us? I got this guy.
Tinker a couple chords around here for you.
If you need a phaser, it's right there.
Awesome.
But right now, you just got to clean. I'll move over here. And
let me see what we got here.
Have you hit it?
The one thing about it that kind of I'm not used to is a keyboard with all this stuff is not this compact. It is so light. It's amazing.
You might be down there on yours. There you go.
Right.
Cool, awesome. Man. You know, I was just looking at, man, you have big hands.
Yeah, I got a
You have a
natural
reach
I got a natural
easy.
10.
Oh, do you have this 10?
I got the 11, yeah.
Can you get the E flat to G?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the one that I've always wanted to get. I have to roll that.
I got the natural 10, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, you know,
well, it's funny. You were just playing stride on the 61-note waterfall action, man. That's I ain't never seen that before. That's great.
It's just the keys are so good because I guess when they moved to plastic keys, there was a disconnect, and you would break a lot of keys, and you know, and so these feel so sturdy, but they're not too stiff. You know.
Exactly. No, I was blown away when I first played this because they're fast and they rebound.
Exactly.
You know, they have a bounciness to them.
Which is why the organ works. You know, I mean,
exactly.
It's weird,
you still have the ability to do it, man. But it's I am
I want 10 of these things, man. Let me tell you.
Well, you know, we'll talk. We'll figure it out.
You think
man.
you can hook me up?
You know, I know a couple of guys. So, so what do you have going on right now with your current projects and stuff?
Well, we just had a #1 hit, Urban AC. Robin Thicke, That's What Love Can Do.
Right.
I co-wrote that song. It was #1 for 4 weeks.
Oh, so you just had a #1 hit. Oh, okay. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I knew that.
Thank you,
Actually, I said that. That's congratulations.
And just got off tour. We were on the Sketchbook tour with Fantasia, The Bonfire, Tank, and Robin. And now we're working on Robin's project, trying to finish that up. There's a few other things. I'm working on my own project. Of course. And my company and my folks. And then there's some kind of motion picture stuff we're trying to work on, soundtracks and licensing. Because I mean this is the reality. It's like a basketball player. When you first get in the league and you got all these gifts, by the time you're 33, 34, 35, you got to find out how to shoot the fadeaway. Are you going to be done? You know, because you can't run up there like you used to. And what I'm saying is that all these years in commercial music and touring, I think you have to find out where you want to be when you finish. And what's realistic, you know. And as much as I love touring and going out and doing shows, it gets to be taxing, and I want to spend more time in the studio. So that's kind of what it's all about, you know. Figuring out that next step. And when it comes to being in the studio, writing and all these things, being a total creative, you can immerse yourself. You know, if you can find the place and the time, you know. And so that's what we're really trying to do. Just do a whole lot more of that stuff. I'm still doing live performances, but I'm focusing more on the writing and the more records. You know.
Right.
And maybe just try to keep my touring down to once or twice a year.
That's great. Man. You're a very wise person, man. I totally thinking about much. Stuff. It's good, man. That's awesome. I kind of been, I already knew this about you because I've already seen anybody that has the kind of success you have.
I'll leave all of that stuff, to these super, young guys, 18, 19, 20. You guys have it, man. It was fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. Just got off the road. I'm going to continue to do that for the rest of my life. But it's just greater. To me, there's greater things out here. I mean, and that's part of it. So I'll be back on the road when I'm promoting my stuff probably, and Robin, but we're going to keep it kind of focused.
Right on, man. Well, I really appreciate it. On behalf of Yamaha and the Synth department, man, it's just a pleasure. I'm really honored to have you on our team.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you guys for having me, man. And
thank you.
Hopefully, we'll come by there and check you guys out. Maybe have some lunch or something,
Absolutely, please.
On you guys. On you.
Oh yeah. We take care of you. No problem. Well, Larry, thanks a lot for coming by on this episode of Behind the Synth Live here at NAMM 2020 with the YC61, Mr. Larry Cox right here. There'll be a little bit more to come. Stay tuned for the live stream here from NAMM 2020. Thanks.
NAMM 2020, we love you. Peace.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel